Our eighth inventor is Genevieve Pfeffer, who with her sister Georgine created a Kewpie-style doll called Splash Me. Genevieve was born December 8, 1890, and was part of a wealthy San Jose family. San Jose is about 49 miles southeast of San Francisco. She eventually attended Stanford University at the Mark Hopkins Institute of Art, though the school's building, the Hopkins Mansion, was destroyed in the 1906 earthquake. The art school eventually acquired a replacement building and reopened as the San Francisco Institute of Art. However, there is no evidence that Genevieve attended this new school, hence she was most likely a student before the age of 17. By the 1910 census, Genevieve continued to live in San Jose on South First Street and was listed as dwelling with her widowed mother, Genevieve Pfeffer, born in Germany. In the census, the younger Genevieve was shown as an artist, and her industry was noted as instructor. Nevertheless, by 1917, Genevieve and Georgine created the Splash Me doll using the pensive Kewpie called the Thinker as a model. Yet the doll was sufficiently different from the Thinker to warrant a design patent. In the design, the doll rests her head on a fist tucked beneath each cheek, while in the figure the hands are folded together under her chin. On December 23, 1918, Genevieve Pfeffer filed an application for a design, patent D00-53153, designed for a doll, and the patent was issued April 1, 1919. Genevieve's name is the only one shown for the creation, probably indicating that she was most responsible for the design. The following shows the main body of the patent. Next is the patent drawing. One reference indicated the Splash Me box contained the 3.5-inch doll, showed a 1918 copyright by Genevieve Pfeffer, and provided the design patent number. The name Jean George also appeared. Apparently, the Pfeffer doll business was indeed called Jean George, and this was formed from the first 4 letters of Genevieve and the first 6 letters of Georgine. Also, the 1918 dolls sold with silk kerchiefs and mohair wigs, so they were made from flesh-tinted bisque. A photo of a Splash Me doll is shown next. At any rate, Genevieve arranged to have George Borgfeldt and Company of New York distribute her dolls, and the Pfeffer business was off and running. The doll was first offered for sale in Santa Cruz, California, and the product was quite well received. Amazingly, from April 1918 through June 1919, about 360,000 Splash Me dolls were sold, with total sales of over $500,000. This information was made available during a 1920 patent infringement lawsuit that Genevieve Pfeffer brought against the Western Doll Manufacturing Company. Unfortunately, the details are a bit murky, but Genevieve did indeed prevail. However, the dolls also gained the attention of some well-known people. In fact, Mary Pickford, the movie star, said in the Splash Me ad, "Splash Me's are a delight to have around, and one cannot help but smile when looking at them." However, the Splash Me doll design went on to be manufactured as party favors, children's books, and postcards. Yet Genevieve did not continue with her doll business and instead married, in 1921, George H. Warfield, bank president of the Healdsburg Savings Bank, also Healdsburg National Bank. Healdsburg is about 70 miles northwest of San Francisco. He had been the bank president since at least 1917. The building still existed in 2016, and the following photo shows how it appeared. The building now houses other businesses, for example, the Harris Gallery and a clothing store. George Warfield was born on June 10, 1869 in New York, so he was 21 years Genevieve's senior. Furthermore, in 1896, George married Harriet Warfield, though she died in 1917. However, when George's second wife, Genevieve, came to Healdsburg, she entered a small-town world much different from her San Jose, California roots. Yet the new Mrs. George H. Warfield eventually became a civic leader and was quite active in social circles. I learned that she threw lavish parties and lived in the largest house in town, the old Matheson house. She was also very proud that her husband was the bank president and did tend to put on airs. In addition, she was always impeccably dressed, but did seem to like the appellation Jean instead of Genevieve. Furthermore, she was a friend of artist and inventor Grace Hudson of Ukiah, and they even hooked a rug together. Nevertheless, Healdsburg did not have the social activities of the 21st century, so Genevieve and her husband were definitely big fishes in a small pond. George was a member of the Bohemian Club, located in San Francisco at Monte Rio, 23 miles southwest of Healdsburg. The club is still in existence, although there is some connection to the arts. The organization is apparently noted for their somewhat flamboyant celebratory activities. Certainly drinking was among the pastimes, and this corresponds with the fact that the boardroom of the bank where George worked also had a bar. The Warfield home was immense, and the next two images show how it appeared in 2016 at 751 South Fitch Mountain Road. However, it has been further expanded since Genevieve's time. Genevieve was also a friend of movie star Janet Gaynor, lived 1906-1984, had success in the original A Star is Born, and Gaynor visited the Warfield home more than once. The locals were somewhat impressed by this, and such occasions were sometimes written about in the local papers. See one occasion in the next image. In 1930, Genevieve took a trip to Honolulu, Hawaii, left February 20, 1930, and arrived March 4, 1930. And it is possible that both George and Genevieve were traveling together. Also, the 1940 census shows Genevieve and George still married and living in Healdsburg, in the same house on Fitch Mountain Road. In the census, George was listed as 70, and Genevieve was shown as 49. However, these dates might be in error by 1 year. George H. Warfield died on June 21, 1947. He is buried at Oak Mountain Cemetery. Genevieve died on December 11, 1985, at age 95, and she is buried at Oak Mountain Cemetery as well. I searched for the Warfield graves, but the headstone, not an upright one, seemed in October 2016 to be buried under foliage that was interspersed with poison ivy. I was not dedicated to taking a photo under those circumstances. Genevieve had no children, so her dolls are the offspring that survive her. For many years the dolls were copied and sold, so this progeny became numerous indeed.